Hello there. Now, after doing American Werewolf in London, I think I'm a bit of a werewolf. That is because I'm now going to do another classic monster film, that being The Howling. That's right, The Howling. What can I say about The Howling? It came out the same year as American Werewolf in London, and it's a good one. Again, they wanted to change the werewolf films, and as we all know, Universal werewolf films, the Hammer werewolf films, and so on, were dying out. The late 70s, as I used my dog as an example, they were using dogs and they was using all sorts of cheap stuff. So the werewolf film, as you know, in the 70s, were dying out. But in 1981, they decided to update it. As we already know, Don Landis did American Werewolf in London, and they was planning on doing this one. The same director what doing his Piranha in 1978 decided he wanted to do a take, that being The Howling. Now, as you already know, it's got E.T.'s mummy in it. That's right, the woman that appeared in The Hills Have Eyes, she appeared in E.T., she appeared in this. And she's playing a reporter, you know, a news reporter, and they're going after a killer, serial killer called the Smiley Killer. And what he does, he puts smiley little stickers everywhere. You know, he kills women. And basically, he's just looking for a killer. So, of all places, he goes to a sex shop. And there's a bit of a funny story in The Howling. It is a funny story. How can I put it? The sex shops he went into was a real sex shop, and the actors felt uncomfortable doing the scenes, doing the film, and so yeah, they did that scene. And the actor, as we all know, was only the same actor. He's been in a lot of films. He's been in Star Trek, the series, been in lots of things. Good actor, and he's the one who's playing this Smiley Killer. There's a bit in it where he's watching some sort of nasty, hardcore type of snuff film, and you got the idea something's happening, he's changing somehow, but you don't actually see it. And you got the idea, is he going to kill her? But obviously the police come in and he gets shot, and you think he's dead. I'm going to go for the rest of that film, but I will say spoiler. So if anyone's never seen The Howling back in 1981, word of advice: get it on DVD, watch it in any way, and then get back to me review. Because that's what I mean by spoiler, because I don't want to spoil that. Anyway, to cut the story short, she's seen a psychiatrist and seen a social worker because she's going to get over what she saw. She saw something and she planked it out. And she got her husband in it, who in real life, funny enough, was her husband in real life. What I thought was quite funny. So they go to this country place, and the effects, as we all know, the effects was done originally by Rick Baker, the director in his American Werewolf in London. He only did half the effects, and at the time he had an option: do the effects for The Howling or do the special effects for American Werewolf in London. He decided to go for Don Landis, and he did the effects for American Werewolf in London. But you can definitely see some of these effects still in the film. Like the scene where the dye changes and his face pulls up and he smiles like this. You can definitely see the effects of Rick Baker. But like I said, they go to this country, this beautiful woman in it, beautiful, dark hair, dark hair, nice boobs, and she's definitely not shy. She strips off, busts, tits, arse, the lot, and I love it. So it's definitely that. It definitely has merits for that, because the girl in it is pretty fit. And the funny thing is, there was some outtakes in it, and she also had a dirty laugh. There's no one in the world I like than a sexy woman with a dirty laugh. So yeah, I love it. I love it. A bit of bonking in it and all. A little bit of effects in here. There's a bonking scene in it, like I say, and the making out, and there's a bit of a cartoon scene where he changes. I feel that's a bit dated. And you do get one woman who's also a reporter, who's reporting all these strange things going on when they move to the country. And she's been in a lot of things. She was in Demnings, and funny enough, she also appeared in Piranhas. And she gets a pretty good, memorable death scene in this. Because all these things are happening in this country, right? And her husband's been unfaithful, he's been shagging this woman, who's a bit of a high-tander. And long behold, she breaks in to find something out, right? And this is where the woman who's a mate of the one who's E.T.'s mum, just called E.T.'s mum, she gets lifted up by the werewolf, gets a Dosset bit out, and I'm thinking, fucking every film she's been in, she has an horrible death. She has an horrible death. But all said and done, the Howling, this is the bit where the Howling does hip and knots, and this is the bit where I will say spoiler. Right, fuck it. Remember the guy who got shot and he was called the Smiley Killer? He's not dead because they shot him with a gold bullet, like the mistake they made in American Werewolf in London. They shot him with gold bullets. So she goes in, finds her body, her mate's body with a Dosset ripped out, and he says, I've got something I want to take off my mind. And he pulls the bullet out, and they find out it's a gold bullet, like the mistake they did in American Werewolf in London. And then that's when he changes. He fucking changes. You can then see some of Rick Prater's effects. His face stretches out, everything stretches. There's a bit in it, and I swear, every time I see it, there's a bit in it where he actually looks like he's smiling, where he's changing. He does this. And he actually looks like he's smiling. And if you ever going to get the Howling, get the 2-disc special edition. I've got, right, I'm not shitting you, I have got the 2-disc special edition of the Howling. Because what they did, I'd outtakes and all this, even had deleted scenes, and bits where his arms are stretching like that. They were actually Durexes. Seriously, I'm not making this shit up. There was actually fucking Durexes they used. So when his arms stretching, he used his pump. Right, this is a true story, it's very funny this. They used a pump and they was blowing at it, and by accident they over fucking did it, and it fucking blew up on his arm. It fucking blew up on his fucking arm, and it is laughable. It is fucking laughable. But I love it. You hear a bit of lapping. I've got a little dog downstairs, even he's getting excited. One of them little chihuahuas never stop fucking barking. All these little shits, aren't they? That's if you hear it. But it doesn't annoy me. It's just really a bit of lapping and you wonder where it's coming from. I've got a little dog downstairs, never stops fucking lapping. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's what she's done. They accidentally pulled the pump and one of the Durexes, because there's all Durexes being blown up, blew up on the actor's arm, and you actually see it. And even the actor who's changing into the werewolf couldn't keep a straight face. So there's a lot of blunders and a lot of outtakes. He changes as he falls acid in his face, as she does the right thing. Now this is the bit where I will get fucking pissed off, because the dude gets away, the husband got turned into a werewolf, because he got bit halfway through the film by the woman who he was shagging, who's also a werewolf. That day, like I say, as I meant to say, she's a reporter and she got statsed and she's with this other guy who's a reporter. But she knows now, right, she's going to be turned into a fucking werewolf. And this is the only bit what pisses me off. Instead of having an happy ending, you get your typical downbeat ending. Unless you know there was a lot of sequels to the Howling, and every one of them always had a fucking downbeat ending. This one had to be a downer, but a laughable downer. Because she got away, like I say, you think everything's happy, but don't forget, she got statsed and she knows she's going to turn. So she's on the news report anyway, telling people about werewolves. The boss thinks it's a fucking joke. Can't blame him. Even I would have someone said there's werewolves all over the fucking area. And she says she's got a finger. Next thing you know, she changes. Her eyes go on this eye thing. You've seen the Howling ending, you probably know what I mean. Her eyes go like right. And she turns into a fucking werewolf. And I was laughing my fucking arse off. I was licking it, laughing my fucking arse off. Because it was a joke. It was a fucking joke. It was as fucking stare there as me having a fucking fart in the wind. She looked more like a fucking hamster. Seriously, if I've ever seen the Howling and see the ending where E.T.'s mum, the woman that plays in E.T., you know what I'm on about, she turns into a fucking werewolf. She looked like a fucking hamster. It was laughable. And the guy who was helping her out, the reporter, he gets it done. You don't see it, it's off screen. She gets shot. The guy in the pub saying, "They put anything on TV these days." You got the nymphomaniac out, the sexy one who was a werewolf. She's still alive. And she says, "Our state epic, meaty and bloody rare, and then it ends. But I actually like it, you know, it's also little bits of the Universal werewolf films, about the stupid fucking ending where the dude gets shot up, it's pissed me off. The rest of it's not a bad film. No, we've got some good effects in it, it's old school. You know what I mean? The dude with the dark hair, if you like it, you think, oh, see, looks nice. Nice seeing when she strips off, like I say. So's a bust, so's a tit, so's her ass. Quite nice to watch. So the Howling, yeah. You could definitely say that 1981 brought back the werewolf films. It fucking brought back the werewolf films. You had one called Raw. You had one called, as we know, American Werewolf in London. And you had this one, the Howling. So it definitely brought back the werewolf films. With this one, they tried to make it still with the special effects, practical, which I love. They still tried to go a bit old school, making the werewolf stand up, you know, the ears stuck up and that. But I've got to admit, they did look better in the days of the Wolfman. You know, a guy walking around with hair stuck on his face, trying to strangle a fucking woman. You know, it was like common in the 30s and 40s of the Universal werewolf films. So in this one, I dilute it. I fucking dilute it because they updated it. They made it better. They marketed it. And it was a dud. So that's the Howling back in 1981. I'm having doing the sequels. So there's somewhat a dud and there's someone there and there's somewhat a fucking shit. But I might round the world do Howling 2. It's not a dud, but you've got Christopher Lee and you've got a fit woman who rips her boobs out. Anything for that. It's worth a watch. But yeah, one round the road, I'll probably do about the sequels of the Howling as well. But that's the Howling again. If you do like what you've seen, you think of anything you'd like me to talk about, just type up, leave a nice comment, or subscribe to me. Until then, I'm having an hour myself, and I'll see you soon. For more reviews, politics, movies, or anything you want me to talk about, I will do. Until then, I'll see you later.